After initially cutting off coronavirus stimulus talks, President Trump is demanding several standalone measures, including relief for major American airlines. But today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced she will not agree to that without a larger, comprehensive package.
Question is, what if there were to be a standalone bill? What does that look like? And the only point about negotiations is ain't going to be no standalone bill unless there's a long-term, a bigger bill, and it could be part of that, or it could be in addition to that.
CBS News Chief Congressional Correspondent Nancy Cordes joins me now from our D.C. bureau. Hi, Nancy. So I guess my main question is, why aren't Democrats interested in standalone bills? At least it's something, right?
Hi, Tanya. It is absolutely something, but there are a few reasons that Democrats are reluctant to go there. And in case you had any question about it, Nancy Pelosi threw an ain't into the mix for good measure. The first reason is because they feel that there is a well-defined problem here, which is the spread of coronavirus. And they don't believe that a couple of standalone bills are really going to solve that central problem. Yes, they want to help the airlines. They want to give Americans more money in their pockets, but they argue that the larger, more comprehensive package that they are working on with Treasury Secretary Mnuchin will go a lot farther to actually solve the central problem by giving more money to strapped state and local governments, giving more money to schools, allotting more money for testing. They argue that all these things enable various institutions to slow the spread of coronavirus, and that if you don't do that larger package, you're just going to be stuck giving out money again and again to the airlines and to other small businesses and individuals. That's point number one. Point number two is they argue that what's going on here is that the president just wants to be able to take a victory lap right before the election and say, hey, Americans, I just put $1,200 more in your pocket without having to do the hard work of coming to some kind of negotiated agreement with Democrats. They don't want to offer him that easy win. And then finally, they fear that if they give on these few standalone issues that Republicans want to see done, then they have no hope of ever getting Republicans back to the negotiating table after the election to do the things that Democrats think are important.
Right.
And so for all of those reasons, they're saying, no small deal, you got to do the whole thing.
So let's drill down on what the president is focusing on. He's focusing on calls for help on the Paycheck Protection Program, airline stimulus, and $1,200 checks. But what has he said about unemployment relief or an eviction moratorium? Are Senate Republicans or the White House willing to work with Democrats to extend those benefits for the millions of Americans who direly need them?
Senate Republicans have put forth a bill that would plus up or increase federal unemployment benefits to a couple $100s a week, nothing like the $600 a week that Congress had been allotting to unemployed individuals until that money ran out in July. So no, they don't want to do what Democrats want to do, which is $600 a week. Nancy Pelosi has been in negotiations with Treasury Secretary Mnuchin. They're trying to meet in the middle, but you bring up a really thorny problem, which is, Tanya, that even if Pelosi and Mnuchin are able to agree to a deal, there is no guarantee that Senate Republicans are going to accept on it and vote to approve it. Speaker Pelosi knows that. That's why she wants to keep talking, because if at the end of the day they do reach an agreement and then Senate Republicans are the ones who pull the plug, then she and all Democrats running for re-election will be able to say, hey, look, American people, we wanted to help you, but it was Senate Republicans and the president who stood in the way. So this is not just an economic argument, but clearly a political argument with weeks to go before the election.
And Nancy, did the speaker even confirm that she's resumed talks with Secretary Mnuchin?
Yes, interestingly, despite the fact that the president tweeted a couple of days ago that he had cut off these talks and told his negotiators to walk away until after the election, Speaker Pelosi said repeatedly that she is actually still speaking with Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, that they are making progress, and that she is still hopeful that they will reach some kind of agreement. And we know that Mnuchin has said repeatedly that he wants to reach an agreement. So they're getting closer when it comes to dollar figures. There's still some outstanding issues, but they're still plugging away, Speaker Pelosi says, although at this point, clearly we don't have a lot of time if they want to get something done before the election, especially now that the House has gone home to campaign.
Right. All right. Well, Nancy Cordes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.